with locations in Atlantic and Carroll. Also brought to you by the First Whitney Bank. They're the only bank you'll ever need, First Whitney Bank. Body Basic, call 254-BODY to get your body back to basics. And the Seed Pros, by your side to maximize yields from the word go. Your Pioneer Pros, John Becker, Mark Ventiger, Gary Dinklin, Nick Knutson. Also brought to you by Second Street Auto, your transmission pros. Cass Health, the neighbors caring for neighbors. And Outfitters Plus Outlet Store, your home for personalized sports apparel in Atlantic. Also brought to you by the Super Bowl. Grab the gang and head to the Super Bowl for Global every Friday and Saturday night. Swinney, they're safe, reliable Swinney for all your transportation needs. And Stein Seed. Stein has yield. Contact Darren Petty, your local Stein representative. Hy-Vee, Bakery, Deli, Grocery, Meat Department, and Pharmacy, always there for you. Your Atlantic Hy-Vee. Atlantic Ag and Auto, your locally owned full-line CarQuest retail store in Atlantic, and Rolling Hills Bank and Trust, a hometown bank for hometown people, a member FDIC. Also brought to you by Greg Young Automotive Group in Atlantic. They go the extra mile for you. And Olson's BP, great food, Godfather's Pizza, and quality BP fuel, the keep you going company, Olson's BP in Atlantic. And Oak Point Wealth Management, Aaron Friend, Oak Point Wealth Management, located inside Snyder and Associates in Atlantic. We're going to take a 2-minute break. We'll be back with the starting lineups of this one right after these.
Olson's Outdoor Power is your one-stop service and equipment shop for all things outdoor. We sell the best power sports products in the business, from Polaris, Can-Am, Sea-Doo, and Ski-Doo, trailers to tackle any job from H&H, Triton, and Wilson, and we continue to lead the way in lawn and garden equipment with great products from Exmark, Dixie Chopper, Husqvarna, Cub Cadet, Steel, and Echo. Add factory-trained technicians in 2 locations, and it's easy to see why Olson's Outdoor Power is the leader in all things outdoor. Olson's Outdoor Power, your one-stop service and equipment shop with locations in Atlantic and Carroll.
First Whitney Bank is the longest standing locally owned bank in Atlantic, and as such, we take pride in how we serve our community. For generations, we have been involved with our customers and their families by getting involved in community events and by supporting technology and teaching financial literacy in our schools. You'll also see our support of athletics on the scoreboards at home events. It's this involvement that allows us to know our customers and their families for generations. First Whitney Bank, the only bank you'll ever need. Member FDIC.
Have you ever heard the saying, people spend their life building wealth and neglecting their health, only to wish they could trade their wealth for better health at the end? This is Dr. Fritz Beyer, and it has now been over 30 years since my first chiropractic adjustment. I still get asked, do you get adjusted? Absolutely. I try to get adjusted at least once a month. I'm 47 now and still try to stay as active as ever. While I do get a few more aches and pains than when I was younger, it feels great to be able to step on the mat and help kids learning to wrestle. Chiropractic has helped me feel young enough to do it. If staying active is part of your future plans, call 254-BODY to get your body back to the basics.
At Second Street Auto, it's our mission to get you back on the road fast. And it all starts with free local towing. Once you're back at the shop, we talk you through your car repair with a free and fair estimate. We do everything in-house so you know who's working on your car. Our Hercules tires come with free road hazard repair, free rotation for the life of the tires, and a free alignment check. And nobody can beat our transmission rebuild and repair experts. Brakes, tune-ups, oil changes, preventative maintenance, and service work make Second Street your first stop.
With you for this broadcast as the Atlantic Trojans host the Clarinda Cardinals in Hawkeye 10 Conference Softball. Baseball also going on to our north here, just across the pavement, is the Atlantic Trojans hosting the Clarinda Cardinals in softball and baseball action as well. Well, Atlantic comes in with a record of 13-8, Clarinda 14-5. Atlantic had a good weekend at Creston. Lost a couple on Friday, but came roaring back on Saturday. Really good game against Mondrian, huh?
Well, I'll tell you what, they played, some pretty good competition on Friday. Some pretty good teams. Things that's good for them. And came back on Saturday and won 2 of them and in impressive style. So, it's just it made them feel a whole lot better. And last night they kept it going against Kemper. So back here against Clarinda, who's a solid ball club, as we noticed. Probably one of their better players, if not their best one. broke her hand, so she was down there setting up the camera. So that's an unfortunate thing for her because she's quite an athlete and a solid contributor for them, and that's going to be tough to replace.
And you know about Jersey Knight, all around athletes you mentioned, track and you name it, volleyball and basketball. And,
we've watched her in a lot of things.
Oh, we have, yes, absolutely. Jersey hitting 429 coming in, and of course that injury. And also Atlantic, they've got a little bit of injury bug too with Lila Winterstein, right?
Well, Lila's still suited up, but I think it's one of those things that she just try to hopefully get a little rest on it and see if she can get healed up. She did bat most of the time down there at Creston over the weekend, and I mean, she got 2 hits and looked good doing it, but didn't run the bases.
Very good. As we take a look at the starters for Clarinda, they'll start Riley Maher in right field. She'll bat first. Stevie Wilms bats second, place left field. Batting third, Annika Price. She'll play shorts. Batting cleanup, Janessa Woolsey for Clarinda. She'll play third. Batting fifth, Addison Wagner, first base person. Batting sixth, Deli Nelson at second. Batting seventh, Mallory Woods, the DP. Batting eighth, Mallory Cole, the center fielder. And batting ninth, Kaylee Smith. That is Clarinda's lineup. Addison Woods will be hit for by Mallory Woods. For Atlantic, they'll lead off with McKenna Schrader. She'll play center field. Batting second, Claire Schroeder third. Batting third will be Zoe Kirchhoff at shortstop. Batting cleanup, Dylan Ball in right field. Batting fifth, Annika Darrell, the DH. He's hitting for the catcher. And also batting sixth to be McKenna Sontag, and she'll play second. Batting seventh, Peyton McLaren, she'll be in the circle. We'll talk about her numbers here in a little bit. Batting eighth will be Jill Satoff, playing first, and batting ninth will be Madison McLaren. She'll play left field. And catching for Atlantic will be Avery Knuth for the injured Lila Wiederstein, and she will be hit for, at least early on in the ball game. Brad Knight, the head coach of Clarinda, and the head coach for Atlantic, Mr. Terry Hinsman. As we'll keep it right here for our national anthem. Atlantic Color Guard will head behind the plates. Mr. Bob Boots is holding the flag along with Mr. Leonard Kinney. And we'll have our national anthem. We'll keep it right here for that as we have a matinee here. The Atlantic Trojans hosting the Clarinda Cardinals. We'll keep it here for our national anthem. Still softball at 95.7 FM tonight, and our live video stream, WesternIowaToday.com and YouTube. It's powered by Scott Bennett, and Initiative Net is the Atlantic Trojans hosting the Clarinda Cardinals here in Hawkeye 10 Conference play. Atlantic 13-8 coming in, and Clarinda 14-5. They played 19. Atlantic has played 21 games so far this season. Let's take a look at the numbers for Peyton McLaren, and she's just been outstanding for the Trojans, not only pitching, Roger Warren, but also hitting the ball as well.
Absolutely. I mean, she's having a good year. her and Zoe, being able to tandem back-to-back weeks or back-to-back days gives you a little bit of firepower. They do get hits off of her, but that's where the defense has got to step up and help her out.
When you look at her numbers, Peyton McLaren in the circle for the Trojans, and she has an ERA of 1.83. Teams are hitting 222 against her so far this season. Just a really good outing. She's 7-5. She's appeared in 15 games pitching, 9 starts here this season for the Trojans here in the circle. Of course, shares duties with Zoe Kirchhoff, so when Peyton's not pitching and Zoe is, they switch from pitcher to shortstop. That works out pretty well.
Yeah, it does.
Bryn Lamp has also pitched for Atlantic, and that adds some depth.
Oh, yeah. She's been able to come in relief and do a pretty good job.
Peyton, 7 wins, ranked second in the conference so far this season, and teams hitting 222 against her. That's a 4th in the conference. Her ERA at 1.83 is ranked 3rd in the Hawkeye 10. Here we go. We'll get started here. And lefty leading off, Riley Maher for the Clarinda Cardinals here in the top of the first inning. Riley, a left-handed hitter, will stand in, and Riley hitting .404 in the year. Here's the first pitch. That's a strike called inside edge, perfect spot, and the count is 0-1 here.
Good way to get started.
Maher, Stevie Wilms, and Annika Price will bat for Clarinda here in the top of the first inning. Just getting underway. These two teams will meet a week from tonight at Clarinda. Here's the pitch. Swung on and high, fly ball to center. Angling to a right as Schrader makes the catch and a run in the gap. Had plenty of air underneath it. Had plenty of time to get the ball.
You bet.
One out for the Cardinals. A fly out by Maher.
Number 14, Stevie Wells.
Stevie Welms will stand in for the Cardinals. The left fielder for Clarinda. Welms hitting 267, on the year. 431 on base percentage. And hitting about 400 slugging percentage. The left fielder, here's the pitch on the way. Swung on and fouled straight back. The count is 0-1. Nobody on and one out for the Cardinals here at the top of the first inning. On deck is Annika Price, the shortstop for Clarinda. Wilms a right-handed batter, so righty against righty here as McLaren goes back to work for the Trojans. And she'll wing it in. That pitch is high for ball. The count is 1-1 to Stevie Wilms, the left fielder. Wilms on the year is 12 of 45. She has 12 runs. She scored 9 singles. She has a double, a triple, and a home run. That was popped up off the net. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Wilms. Left fielder. Cardinals won the league a year ago, Roger Warren. And
yep, that's all ball club.
Yeah,
all around.
Crescent Atlantic, and that's what we see again this year.
Yeah, absolutely.
Clarinda Atlantic and Crescent here on top of the heap. Line drive left field, and in comes Madison McLaren on the one bounce, and a base hit for Stevie Wilms in left field for Clarinda. 1 on and 1 out. The Cardinals have some business at first base.
Oops.
And she gets the second throw. Runner at second with 1 out. And here comes Annika Price, the shortstop. Well, that'll give Coach Hinsman another gray hair there.
Oh, yeah, there's something on
the air that allowed to go to second.
Those are little things you don't want to do.
Yeah. Here's Annika Price, the batter, 1 on and 1 out. Top of the first, no score, but the Cardinals have a runner at second. Price at the plate, a right-handed hitter. Here's the pitch on the way. That's a strike outside corner. Nice pitch by McLaren. The count is 0-1.
We can hear the umpire from up there when he calls that strike. I love it, too. There's no doubt about it.
Price will step back in for Clarinda. Price hitting .306. A hot shot to third, knocked down by Schroeder. She'll fire to first, gets the out. Here comes the throw to third of the run, and it gets away. And it goes out in left field. And scoring will be Stevie Wilms. The Cardinals up 1-0 on the hard throw to third. Atlantic with a couple of errors here in the top of the first, and the Cardinals get a run.
That was a great play from third to first.
Boy.
Just didn't get the throw down coming back.
Nice throw, as you mentioned, Roger, from Price to Jill Satoff at first, and they tried to, and it was a good play.
Yeah.
Satoff tried to get the runner out racing for third, and that was Stevie Wilms, but the ball got away, and the Cardinals get a run across 1-0 here at the top of the first. Janessa Woolsey, the batter, the third base person for the Cardinals. Nobody on, 1 out, 1 in. Top of the first inning. Woolsey, a right-handed hitter. 0-1, here's the pitch. Swinging and a miss, a beauty by McLaren. And the counts goes to 0-2 to Woolsey. Cleanup hitter. Right-handed batter for the Cardinals. 0-2 pitch on the way. High, ball one. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Nice toss. Woolsey hitting .352 on the season. 19 of 54 at the plate. 1 ball and 2 strikes to pitch. Outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Janessa Woolsey. 14 singles, just 5 two-baggers, 14 runs batted in. Walked 4 times, hit by a couple of pitches. Struck out 13. 2-2 the count. Here's the pitch. High and in. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Woolsey, full count. Top of the first, 1-0 Cardinals. Wilms scoring after she singles the left. Scored on a misplay. There's the swing and a miss, and Peyton McLaren gets the strikeout, and that'll be it for the Knights. For the Cardinals, they score 1 run on 1 hit. 2 Atlantic errors, and they leave no one. Atlantic coming back in the bottom half of the first inning.
As we all seem to be, no one has time for a breakdown. So here's the key. Pay attention to the...
Cass Health in Atlantic, Iowa is a nationally recognized hospital, and we are proud of the awards and all of our recent accomplishments. But do you know what drives us to be the very best? You. We're passionate about helping our patients heal and feel their very best at any age and any stage of life. Cass Health, neighbors caring for neighbors.
At Outfitters Plus in Atlantic, you'll find all the latest in custom apparel and headwear. Head to Outfitters and work with the design pros to make your customized tees, team apparel, and personalized swag for your business a reality. Whether it's fan apparel for your high school or youth sports teams, your business, or you just want to make something your own, you'll have everyone saying, "Where'd you get that?" Don't forget, Outfitters will also add your group store online to make ordering a breeze. Get personalized at Outfitters Plus Outlet Store in Atlantic. Stop by today.
Addison Woods in the circle for Clarinda. Atlantic gets their first look. Cardinals scored 1 run on 1 hit. Near the top of the frame. Woods in the circle, a righty. Brings the pitch. Ball high. The count is 1-0 to Schrader, the center fielder for the Trojans. Schrader hitting .355 of the season. 22 of 62. Line drive, center field. Cole comes over, makes a running catch in the gap for the Cardinals. There's 1 down.
You bet. Well, that's a good play out there. I mean, she got the bat on the ball, but she ran it down nicely.
Schroeder will bat for the Trojans. So Schrader flies out in the gap in right center. There Schroeder will stand in for the Trojans, a right-handed hitter. The third baseman for the Trojans hitting .263. 15 of 57 on the season. In the circle, Addison Woods. Nobody on, 1 out for Atlantic. 1-0 Cardinals. That pitch is slowing in for a ball. The count is 1-0 to Schroeder, and then Kirchhoff for Atlantic will bat at that third spot. Wood of the circle for the Cardinals. Addison Wood, 1 ball and no strikes, wings it in. That's the strike on the outside corner. Addison Woods is 5-1 in the year. ERA of 2.78. Team's hitting .264 against her. She's allowed 11 runs on 29 hits. Walked 4, struck out 10. Pitches high for a ball. 2 balls and a strike here in the bottom half of the first inning. Schroeder, right-handed hitter. Plays third, had a nice play in the top of the frame.
Yep, absolutely.
Here's the pitch, swung on a changeup and fouls it straight back. And the count is 2 balls and 2 strikes. Good rain here last night in Atlantic.
You know, that was funny, Tom. Atlanta got an inch.
Yeah.
I got 12 hundredths.
Yeah, it's
5 miles south of town.
And my son that lives a mile and a half south and west of me got 2 tenths. We got close to an inch at home. Line drive, right field, caught.
Oh.
Riley Maher and
Another one got the bat on the ball.
Yeah, they're lifting it out, but in the air, and Riley Maher in right field, angled to her right, and made the catch. Yeah, but Elite Octane, which is just north on 83, and I was driving in to cover severe weather, getting hailed on, and couldn't hardly see to drive, and they ended up with just over 2/10.
Oh, geez.
You know, we get an inch of the radio station, figure that. But yeah, that's how things go when you kind of have a droughty situation still. Kirchhoff at the plate. Zoe, shortstop. Nobody on, 2 down for Atlantic in the bottom of the first inning. 1-0 Cardinals with the lead. Kirchhoff, a right-handed batter, having a terrific year. The pitch outside. Zoe hitting .452 in the year. Kirchhoff, 33 of 73. 21 singles, 8 doubles, a couple of triples, 2 home runs. 29 RBI for Kirchhoff. She's second in 3A in RBI with 29.
When she puts the bat on the ball, it's just, hits it hard.
Fouls that one off, 1-2. Total bases 51. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Woods goes to work, brings it. Hot shot to short, gets away from Price, and Kirchhoff will be safe at first on the error. Atlanta gets a base runner with 2 down here in the bottom half of the first inning, and Dylan Ball, the right fielder, will step in for the Trojans. So they've got a chance here in the bottom half of number 1. They're down 1-0. And Dylan Ball, the right fielder, will step in. Anna Cadero is on deck as the Trojans try to get some going here with 2 down in the frame. Ball, a right-handed batter, and she's also had a good year. This youngster, just a freshman, looks at one high and away. And the count is 1-0. Ball hitting .409 of the year. 27 hits, 66 at bats.
Well, she's been able to put the bat on the ball. It's just, like I said, hasn't found green a lot of times.
22 singles, ranks 3rd in the conference. Shows line 1 in front of the first base dugout. 1-1 the count. Makes contact. 1 on and 2 down for Atlantic here in the bottom half of the first inning. Cardinals up 1-0. Kirchhoff, the runner at first base. A .409 batting average. On base about 47% of the time, hitting .485 when you talk about her slugging percentage. Just 20 RBI, 5 doubles. The pitch. That's a strike called to the outside edge. Kirchhoff goes to second with a stolen bag. Oh, they got her. They tagged her out. They got her just on the hand, Roger Warren, I believe. So Kirchhoff is thrown out stealing. What a throw down by Kaylee Smith.
I thought she actually got under it, but he's seen something we didn't.
That'll be it for the Trojans. We'll go to the top of the second. Cardinals 1, Atlantic nothing.
In Atlantic, you'll find all the latest in custom apparel and headwear.
Gas prices got you down? Need a ride to work or the grocery store? There's public transportation for everyone in Southwest Iowa. SWITA offers taxi service in Atlantic, Glenwood, Harlan, Missouri Valley, Red Oak, and Shenandoah. $2.50 each way or $2 for seniors 60 years and older. Just call 1-800-842-8065 or visit swita.com to schedule your ride.
Stein delivers more new genetics faster. Our focus on delivering higher yielding genetics faster than the competition is why we have released more new Enlist E3 lines in the past 5 years than any other seed company. For elite genetics paired with simple, flexible, and effective weed control, plant Stein Enlist E3 soybeans. Stein has yield. 45 years of yield. Learn more at steinseed.com.
Welcome back to Atlanta. We go to the top of the second inning. 1-0 Cardinals. Stevie Wilms hit a single. A couple of throwing errors allowed her to score in the top of the first inning. Addison Wagner will step in. 5, 6, and 7 scheduled to bat. Wagner, the first base person for Clarinda at the plate. Wade McLaren in the circle for Atlantic. Here's the pitch on the way. Low and a ball 1 to Addison Wagner, a rod-headed batter. Wagner hitting .288 of the year, 15 of 52. All singles, 9 RBI. Walked 4 times, struck out 11. 1 ball and no strikes to Wagner. Here's the pitch by McLaren. Low and in for ball 2. McLaren falls behind 2-0. Cardinals sent 4 to the plate of the first inning. Riley Maher flew to center. Caught by Schrader. Williams had a base hit. Scored on a overthrow at third. Aaron's pitch, low and in. She falls behind 3-0.
Yep, got to battle back.
Price ground out of that first inning. Then Woolsey struck out. McLaren had a great pitch for the K to end the inning. Here's Wagner. She'll be taken all the way here on a 3-0 pitch by McLaren to lead off the second. That's a strike. Nice pitch on the inside corner. Got his 3 balls and a strike. Still a hitter's count for.
You bet. I got to come back. I mean, you got to pitch strikes. You can't put them on free pass.
The pitch. Swung on, hit to right field. Caught by Ball coming in.
Nice catch, Dylan.
Line drive by Wagner, and Ball got a good jump.
You bet.
Made it look easy, but those plays are not as easy as they look, Roger.
Well, they're coming in a hurry, so you better get moving.
Liner right to Ball, and she had to come in and angle to right just a little bit to make the catch. Nobody on and 1 out for Clarinda, top of the second. Here's Ellie Nelson, the second baseman for the Cardinals. 1-0 Clarinda. Batting in their side of the second inning. McLaren set to go. Here's the pitch on the way. Inside for a ball. Ellie Nelson, the 6th hitter in the Cardinal lineup. The second base person. Right-handed batter hitting .217, 5 of 23. So not a lot of at-bats for Nelson. McLaren gets the glove, gets the target from Knuth. Here's the pitch. Swung on, a rip to left, base hit. Boy, she got around that one.
Yes, she did.
Cardinals have 2, 1 on and nobody and 1 out here in the second inning.
Number 24, Mallory Woods.
Mallory Woods will step in. And so the Cardinals have 1 on and 1 out here at the top of the second. Their second hit. Williams has a single and scored, and now Nelson singles to left. Mallory Woods will step in. The DP heading for Addison Woods, the pitcher. Top of the second, 1-0 Cardinals with 1 on. The pitch. That's a strike, a beauty right there on the inside edge. And McLaren likes the low pitch. He likes the knees. Yep. And she's getting that tonight.
Well, you got to keep it there. That way the ball, you can't hardly lift the ball up. The ball's got to be played on the ground.
Sign from Knuth. 0-1 the count. The pitch to Woods. Swing and a miss and a changeup. And McLaren works ahead. No balls and 2 strikes. Just 1 strikeout. Allowed 1 run on 2 hits. That was unearned. Woods a right-handed hitter. 7th hitter of the Clarinda lineup. 1-0 Cardinals. Here at the top of the second. 0-2 pitch on the way. Here it is. Swing and a miss. Strikeout for McLaren. Throw down a first. What a great pitch. A little bit of a change. Now there's 2 down. Maddie Cole will bat. The center fielder for the Cardinals with Nelson first base via the single. Cole, a right-handed batter, hitting .234 of the year, 11 of 47. A left-handed swinger. Here's the pitch coming in. A line, a shot to its on tag. The senior gloves it, fires the first. And the Cardinals are retired. McKenna at second base makes the play. And that'll be it for the Cardinals. No run. They got a hit. No errors. And they left no one after 1.5.
Get ready for a fresh start at Greg Young Atlantic. Our Greg Young Fresh Start program helps you hit the road with confidence, overcome credit challenges with personalized financing, and a wide selection of great vehicles. Visit us today to find your brand new Chevy, GMC, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, or Ram, or check out our huge pre-owned selection at GregYoungAtlantic.com and GregYoungCDJRAtlantic.com. And to apply. Don't miss out on this incredible offer. Here at Greg Young, we go the extra mile for you.
At Oak Point Wealth Management, we're embracing new changes to better serve you. As an independent wealth manager, I'm excited to partner with LPL Financial, bringing you comprehensive tools and resources backed by personalized service and dynamic technology. My focus remains on helping you achieve your financial goals with integrity and care. Visit oakpointwealth.com or call me, Erin Friend, at 712-207-3521 to learn more.
Visit www.oakpointwealth.com, 712-207-3521 to learn more about how Oak Point Wealth Management can help you pursue your financial goals.
Stein has yield. 45 years of yield. Learn more at steinseed.com.
Welcome back to Atlantic. We go the bottom half of the second inning. Cardinals up 1-0. One run on 2 hits. A single by Wilms, and Ellie Nelson got a single.
Dylan gets to start with a fresh count.
You bet. Dylan back at the plate. Here's the pitch on the way. Line drive to left field, base
nice
hit.
shot.
Right in the hole in left. A good shot, as you mentioned, Roger Warren. Atlantic gets their first hit of the ball game. Ball with a single to left, and she got around on that one.
She hit that one with authority, yes.
Here comes Darrow, the DH for Atlantic with 1 on and nobody down. We'll see if they get something to go. And Cardinals with a 1-0 lead. They scored that run in the top of the first.
This is Reese.
So Reese is batting. A Reese ball. There's a pitch popped up and against the netting. Well, the count is 0-1. I think they did that the other night, too. They had Darrow as a starting DH, and then Reese.
Well, it might be the situation.
Yeah. It is Reese. Thank you for that. Reese, the batter. The DH, the left-handed hitter. Dylan Ball, the runner at first base. Reese Ball at the plate. 0-1 the count. Woods pitch. High and away. The count is 1-1 to Reese Ball. She's seen quite a bit of action this year for Atlantic, the youngster. Where's number 21? Ball hitting .421, not too shabby.
Yeah.
8 hits and 19 at bats. Here's the pitch to Reese. Hot shot.
Found the hole.
That's a base hit.
Found the hole.
Atlantic with back-to-back hits. Reese Ball with a single to left. About the same spot.
For Atlantic, it brings in the senior number 1.
Kind of a slow roller.
Sontag.
But it got there. And McKenna Sontag, the senior second base person, will step in with 2 on and nobody down. In the bottom half of the second. Peyton McLaren on deck. Sontag, the 6th hitter in the Trojan lineup. Dylan Ball at second. Reese Ball at first base. Pitches low and away for Ball. The count is 1-0 to McKenna. Sontag, a right-handed hitter for the Trojans, hitting .288 of the year. 15 of 52, 8 singles, 6 doubles, 1 home run. It's tough to tell me about that.
She did have 1 home run.
Here's the 1-0 pitch, swung on, a big rip down the right side. It's high and caught in right field by Maher, and tagging will be ball to third. Now Atlantic has runners at first and third on the fly by Sontag. Sack fly for McKenna. Here's Peyton McLaren. Atlantic has something to go on here with runners at first and second.
Well, they got a steal situation here.
They certainly do.
Move somebody up and then go from there.
Third base is Dylan Ball. Reese Ball at first. 1 out. So here's McLaren. Here's the pitch. There goes Reese Ball, and she'll get a free pass all the way second. Now runners at second and third for Atlantic. 1 out. McLaren to the plate.
Well, now you got to put the bat on the ball. I mean, fly ball, whatever, scores 1.
Even a ground ball may.
Yeah, ground ball.
Right side.
You bet. But at third base, you pay attention. Make sure the ball goes to 1.
Here's the pitch. High call, beauty, the outside edge. Peyton McLaren hitting .258 right. He hits the third. You got to hesitate.
Well, we had that situation down there at Creston. He took off, but no. Make sure the ball goes to 1 before you take off for home.
0-2 pitch on the way. Swung out to right field, base hit. Right. Scoring from third is Dylan Ball. Reese Ball will go to third, and the Trojans have tied up at 1-1. And Peyton goes on down to second base. Atlantic with 3 singles in the inning, and Peyton McLaren with an RBI base knock. And Dylan Ball scores for third.
Number 14, Jillian Saton.
And Reese Ball goes to third.
Yep.
McLaren's at second on the throw. First base open, Satoff, the batter for Atlantic. 1-1 game. RBI single by Peyton McLaren. Here's the pitch to Satoff. Swung on, hit to right field. That's foul. Boy, that was close.
That was both of them.
Reese Ball will go back to third base. Just an 8th grader. Boy, she had a nice hit. To keep things a rolling, Dylan Ball had a single. Reese stepped in and hit a single. Sontag had a sac fly. That sent Ball to third, and then McLaren's base hit. Scoring Ball. 1-1 game. Bottom half of the second. 2 on and 1 out. The pitch to Satoff. Swung on, hit right back where it came from. Ground ball to short. Here's the throw to first in time. They'll get the out. That hit Woods. Then it ricocheted over to Price, the shortstop, and she was able to gobble it up and get the throw to first.
Yeah,
but a run scores.
I don't care who's pitching. You just don't like seeing that.
No.
That just drilled right back at you.
Reese Ball did score from third of the ground ball, so Satoff gets a ground-out RBI. And the shortstop, Annika Price, made the play on a 6-3. The Trojans have a run at third.
The Trojans, number 19, Maddie McLaren.
So Maddie McLaren will step in, a left fielder for Atlantic with 1 on and 2 down and 2 in. Atlantic up 2-1 with RBI from McLaren and Satoff. Maddie McLaren, the left fielder, the 9th hitter of the lineup. Here's the pitch. That's a strike. Down 0-1. 6th hitter to appear for the Trojans here in the bottom half of the second. They got that leadoff hitter aboard. That's huge.
Yeah, it is.
A 1-1 the count. Here's the pitch to Maddie McLaren. Changeup is high and away. The count is 1-1.
Well, you get somebody on and it changes the fielding decisions and things like that, so you make them make a play.
Maddie, 11 of 19. There's a shot to second. A one-hopper room service to Nelson. She'll make the play at first, and that'll be it. 4-3. But how about the Trojans? They scored 2 runs on 3 hits, no errors, and a couple left. We're through 2 innings. Atlantic takes a 2-1 lead, and we'll take a timeout. We're back in a minute. You're listening to High School Softball on 95.7 FM.
Atlantic Ag and Auto, your locally owned CarQuest Auto Parts store, is seeking help to fill a part-time or possibly full-time position. While experience in retail parts is preferred, it is not a deal breaker. The ideal candidate should have entry-level computer skills and be comfortable working with the public and having some fun while doing it. If you have excellent customer service skills, a valid driver's license, and a history of reliability, we would like to hear from you. Atlantic Ag and Auto is an equal opportunity employer located at 716 West 7th Street here in Atlantic.
Hey there, this is Tanner from your Atlantic Hy-Vee, and I've got some exciting news to share. Thanks to your feedback, we're currently rated the friendliest Hy-Vee in the entire company. That's a huge honor, and on behalf of the whole team, thank you to everyone who's taken time to share their thoughts. Did you know you can leave feedback too? Just check the link on the bottom of your Hy-Vee receipt or in your email after a purchase. Whether it's a compliment or constructive criticism, I love reading our surveys and making sure we're always improving. And as always, thank you for shopping your Atlantic Hy-Vee.
At 716 West 7th Street here in Atlantic.
I'll tell you what, one of the things I noticed, as we come back on here, I see a lot of teams when they warm up in between innings, they've got somebody throwing the ball from basically home plate to the infielders, and which I think is a great idea because that's the true angle you got to deal with.
Top of the third, Atlantic up 2-1. The 9th hitter of the lineup, Kaylee Smith, stands in, looks a pitch outside. The count is 1-0. Cardinals 1 run on 2 hits. Atlantic with 2 runs on 4 hits here in the ball game. 3 of those coming in the frame, or 3 hits rather. 3 hits for the Trojans. Here's the pitch coming. Swing and a miss. McLaren with a couple of strikeouts. And the count is 1-1 to Kaylee Smith, the rod-headed hitter, the 9th hitter. The lineup for the Cardinals here in the top of the 3rd inning. A .395 average, not too shabby for a 9th hitter. That pitch is low for ball. The count is 2 balls and a strike. Stevie Wilms, that single back in the first, scored on an error. Ellie Nelson with the other hit for the Cardinals. Atlantic 2 runs and 3 hits. The pitch. That's a strike.
Really caught the corner.
It just caught it.
Yep.
2-2 the count. Great pitch by McLaren. Peyton, a rod-headed thrower. Second in doubles in Class 3A at the plate, and she's had an equally successful year throwing. Third in the conference with her ERA of 1.83, fly ball to center. Schrader doesn't move, makes the catch.
Look at that.
1.83 is Peyton McLaren's ERA, and that's 3rd best in the Hawkeye 10.
Next up to bat.
Here comes Riley Maher.
17, Riley Maher.
Maher flew to center first time up. Stevie Wilms on deck. Nobody on and 1 out for the Cardinals here in the top of the 3rd. Atlantic up 2-1. Maher, a left-handed batter for Clarinda. She was 2nd in the conference in stolen bases. We'll see what they do with her if she would
looks
get
like
on.
she can drag a little bit.
Yeah.
Drag but the way she's standing.
The pitch. Swung on, a pop fly, shortstop, no third. Schrader makes it. So Schroeder comes over from third.
Shortstop.
As the Cardinals aggressive at the plate, swing at that first pitch.
They're going to hit the ball. Well, like I said, when she came up, she looked like she was one of those snappers that, especially from the left side, that she could get down the line.
Little popper just to the right side of Peyton McLaren in the circle, and Schroeder, the third base person, came over to make the catch. Nobody on, 2 down for the Cardinals. Top of the third. Steve Wilms, the batter, scored in the first. There's one off the handle right up the middle. That could be trouble. Throw to first base, and it is not in time. Really
that was
close.
That was tough.
Oh boy, Wilms barely got there. And
I'll
she's
tell you what,
2 for
when it
2.
got over the top of Peyton there, it just kind of died.
It was right off the handle.
Yep.
Had a little English on it.
Yes, it did.
And term English is a spin of the ball. They get that from snooker.
Yep.
The old snooker game. That's where they got that term English. The pitch. Low and in. 1 on, 2 down. There goes the throw to second base. And how about Wilms? She gets a stolen bag.
Yeah, I probably would have advised Olivia to eat that one. If you don't pick it up clean, you're not going to get there.
They were able to save it from going out into center field. Annika Price, the hitter, ground out to Schroeder at third, her first time up. 2-1 Atlantic. Cardinals have a runner at second with 2 down. In the circle, Peyton McLaren has 2 strikeouts. Here's the pitch coming. Change up is high and in. And she falls behind 2 balls and no strikes. Yet to walk a batter, she struck out a pair. 1.83 ERA, third best in the Hawkeye 10. 2-0 the count with Wilms at second. The pitch. There's a strike outside corner. What a beauty by McLaren. Count is 2 balls and a strike. Baseball game. Cardinals lead 3-0. They're keeping pace. Yeah, they're keeping pace.
Yeah, they're keeping pace.
How about the Trojans? They beat Mount Pleasant on Friday night.
That was a good win.
Hudson McLaren had a terrific game last night. We'll talk about it.
Oh, yeah.
2-1, lifted high to left.
It's catchable.
Schrader going back. Here comes the left fielder, Madison McLaren. Schrader makes the grab, but a run will score. What a job, a 2-out catch. Schrader had it come from center field, Roger Ward, to make the grab.
Well, I'll tell you what, that's one of those things that you got to be yapping. You got to be talking loud, and if the center fielder, they're usually the one that gets to call you off. So you got to let them have it, but don't have a collision.
Madison was there, the left fielder, and a great job by
At Seed Pros, our mission is to be your business partner every day of every season.
Pioneer Hybrid International was founded in Iowa back in 1926 and is still American today. Not many other seed providers can make that claim.
We partner with you to continually push the limits by combining elite seed genetics, local infield knowledge, along with customer service second to none.
We are with you from the word go. Contact Mark Van Tiger, Gary Dinkla, Nick Knudsen, or John Becker to partner with a team that puts your business needs first.
At Rolling Hills Bank and Trust, we're not just a bank. We're your neighbors. We've been dedicated to our communities for over 35 years. From real estate and ag loans to personal and commercial banking, we offer a full range of financial services tailored to meet your needs. We believe in giving back and being involved in the communities we serve. Stop into one of our 12 convenient locations or visit us at rollinghillsbank.com.
The third inning, and the Trojans leading 2-1. As Schrader, the leadoff batter, will step in. Atlantic sent 6 to the plate. In the second, they scored 2 runs and 3 hits. Woods in the circle for the Cardinals. The pitch. Swung on and high to center. Cole comes to her right, makes the grab of the gap.
Walk on the center field by Cole.
Same spot. Schrader 0 for 2. A couple of flyouts to Cole in center. Claire Schroeder will stand in. She flew to right. Her first time up. Schroeder, right-handed batter for the Trojans. 1 out. We're in the bottom half of the third inning. Atlantic up 2-1 on the seed. Here we go. Here's the pitch on the way from Woods. Eye for a ball. Count is 1-0. We talked about Atlantic last night. The baseball team, they win 7-3.
Yeah.
Hudson McLaren retired the first 18 batters last night.
Yeah, that's what I understand.
Perfect game going. He struck out 12 of those 18. Pitches high and in. Knight's able to score 3 runs in the bottom half of the 7th, but They were down 7-0. Atlantic got the bat of the ball as well. And Hudson
he must have
McLaren.
been watching the guy from Arkansas, the no-hitter.
Schroeder at the plate. Outside for a ball. 3-0 the count as Wood falls behind for about the first time here in the ball game. Bottom half of the third, Atlantic up 2-1. Nobody on and 1 out for the Trojans. Here's the pitch on the way. Fastball strike. 3-1 the count. Kirchhoff is on deck for Atlantic. Zoe reached an error back in the first inning. Atlantic 2 runs and 3 hits, all coming in the second. The pitch swung on, is popped up to foul ball against the netting, and that'll bring the count to 3-2.
Full count. You got a battle.
Back to Hudson. He had 12 strikeouts. He allowed 3 runs on just 2 hits and only 1 earned.
Right.
In that game last night. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Atlantic beat Mount Pleasant on Friday. Here's the pitch. Swung on and fouled straight back.
Heads up.
3 balls and 2 strikes to Schroeder. We'll have the Atlantic baseball Shenandoah game on Thursday night. Pre-game at 7:15. First pitch at around 7:30. Nobody on, 1 out for Atlantic here in the bottom half of the third. Trojans up by a run, 2-1. Woods in the circle. Here's the pitch. Fastball misses, ball 4. And Woods with the first walk.
Brings in Kirchhoff for
So
Atlantic.
Zoe
The shortstop.
Kirchhoff will step in as Woods walks the batter. And Kirchhoff reached an error first time up, will step in. 1 on and 1 out. Atlantic up 2-1. We're in the bottom half of the third. Kirchhoff hitting .452. Smacks one foul left side. 29 RBI on the season. That ranks second in Class 3A. Leads the conference in RBI with 29. Third in the conference in hits, or in 3A rather, with 33. That's first in the conference. Fourth in singles in the conference. That pitch is out of the zone, 1-1 the count. So Kirchhoff is back to another terrific year. A first-team all-conference player a year ago. 1 on and 1 out here in the third. Woods pitch on the way, low and in. 2-1 the count. Woods just walks Schroeder.
Yeah.
We'll see how patient Kirchhoff
You got to be patient,
is.
but she usually is. I mean, she usually puts the bat on the ball. So
2 balls and a strike as Addison Woods wings it in, swung on and popped up, playable. The catcher, Smith, makes the grab at foul territory. 2 down. Big out for the Cardinals there.
Big out.
So Dylan Ball will step in. She got the
Dylan Ball.
merry-go-round going to back of the second inning. She had a single. Reese Ball had a single. Sontag had a sac fly, and McLaren had an RBI single, and Satoff an RBI ground ball to put Atlantic up 2-1. But now there's 2 down here in the bottom of the third inning, 1 on. And here is Ball. Pitch to Dillon. High and away for ball 1. Woods is yet to strike out a Trojan. Walked 1, allowed 2 runs and 3 hits. 1 error for the Cardinals. Reese Ball on deck for the Trojans. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Swung on up the middle. That's going to be a one-hopper.
Right there.
And the play by Price, and she'll
Just
step on
worked out
second
perfect.
base. Yep. Right to her, right near the second base, and the shortstop picked it up. Price and stepped to the bag. And Schroeder is forced out at second base. Atlantic no runs, no hits, and no errors, and they left 1. Through 3. Good game here. Atlantic 2 and Clarinda 1.
Olson's Outdoor Power is your one-stop service and equipment shop for all things outdoor. We sell the best power sports products in the business, from Polaris, Can-Am, Sea-Doo, and Ski-Doo, trailers to tackle any job from H&H, Triton, and Wilson, and we continue to lead the way in lawn and garden equipment with great products from Exmark, Dixie Chopper, Husqvarna, Cub Cadet, Steel, and Echo. Add factory-trained technicians in 2 locations, and it's easy to see why Olson's Outdoor Power is the leader in all things outdoor. Olson's Outdoor Power, your one-stop service and equipment shop with locations in Atlantic and Carroll.
First Windy Bank is the longest standing locally owned bank in Atlantic, and as such, we take pride in how we serve our community. For generations, we have been involved with our customers and their families by getting involved in community events and by supporting technology and teaching financial literacy in our schools. You'll also see our support of athletics on the scoreboards at home events. It's this involvement that allows us to know our customers and their families for generations. First Windy Bank, the only bank you'll ever need. Member FDIC.
Come to bat, down by one here at the top of the fourth. Janessa Woolsey, Addison Wagner, and Ellie Nelson to bat. Woolsey struck out her first time up, top of the fourth inning. 2-1 Trojans. McLaren in the circle for Atlantic here tonight. Trojans beat Kemper last night 13-2. The pitch on the way, swung on, hit deep to left. Back goes the left fielder, Madison McLaren, makes the catch with the warning track. That made me nervous a little bit.
Well, that made Terry nervous too, I'll guarantee it. She was stumbling a little bit, right in the right spot. But
Addison Wagner.
Good job, Madison McLaren. Right back in the warning track. It looked like that might go for a moment, but then it died, but it had a lot of air underneath it. It's interesting, the Cardinals with some fly balls here. They've had a couple to center field, 3 to center field, and one to left. There's a foul ball right side of Wagner at the plate. McLaren with a couple of strikeouts. Cardinals had a single of first, a single of second, a single of third, and they scored a run in the first inning with the top of the fourth. Atlantic up 2-1. Wagner lined out to right her first time up. 0-1 the count. The pitch by McLaren, swing and a miss. Count 0-2 to Wagner, a right-handed hitter. Well, the Cardinals bats in the fifth spot for Coach Brad Knight, Clarinda. And the 0-2 pitch is on the way. Here it is. Half swing ball.
Nope.
Did he go?
Nope.
Nope. First base umpire says no. 1-2 the count.
Close, but not enough.
I didn't think she did. Nobody out. One out for the Cardinals. Here in the fourth inning. McLaren brings it outside for a ball.
Actually, a good place to put that baby.
2-2 the count. Addison Wagner.
Here's where she needs one of those low and outside strikes.
Hitting 288 of the year, 15 of 52. And the pitch is coming in. The 2-2 offering. Swing and a miss. Strikeout number 2 on Wagner. Strikeout number 3 for Peyton McLaren.
Ellie Nelson.
So Ellie Nelson will step in. Singled her last time up. Nobody out and 2 down for the Cardinals here at the top of the fourth. McLaren really settling in for the Trojans. She's not, I think the most, 4 batters in the first for Clarinda, 4 in the second, 4 in the third. 2 up and 2 down so far here. That one's fouled straight back. Count is 0-1 to Ellie Nelson. Nobody out at 2 down for the Cardinals, down 2-1 here at the top of the fourth inning. Ellie Nelson hitting 280 on the year, or 217 rather. 280 on base percentage, 304 slugging. 0-1 pitch, low and in. 2-0 the count. McLaren yet to walk a batter. She's scattered 3 strikeouts so far in the game. The count is 1-1 to Nelson with 2 down near the top of the fourth inning. McLaren will wing it in for Atlantic. Line drive left field. Here comes Madison. McLaren makes the catch. 3 up and 3 down for Clarinda. Here in the top of the fourth inning, Atlantic with a 2-1 lead will come to bat in the bottom half of the frame. Clicking right along here. We're back right after these.
Have you ever heard the saying, people spend their life building wealth and neglecting their health, only to wish they could trade their wealth for better health at the end? This is Dr. Fritz Beyer, and it has now been over 30 years since my first chiropractic adjustment. I still get asked, do you get adjusted? Absolutely. I try to get adjusted at least once a month. I'm 47 now and still try to stay as active as ever. While I do get a few more aches and pains than when I was younger, it feels great to be able to step on the mat and help kids learning to wrestle. Chiropractic has helped me feel young enough to do it. If staying active is part of your future plans, call 254-BODY to get your body back to the basics.
At 2nd Street Auto, it's our mission to get you back on the road fast. And it all starts with free local towing. Once you're back at the shop, we talk you through your car repair with a free and fair estimate. We do everything in-house so you know who's working on your car. Our Hercules tires come with free road hazard repair, free rotation for the life of the tires, and a free alignment check. and nobody can beat our transmission rebuild and repair experts. Brakes, tune-ups, oil changes, preventative maintenance, and service work make 2nd Street your first stop.
We go to the bottom half of the 4th inning. Trojans with a 2-1 lead. 2 runs on 3 hits. Those 3 hits came in the 2nd. 1 error by the Cardinals. Lila Wiederstein is going to bat for Atlantic in that DH spot that was originally occupied by Darrow. Then Reese Ball hit for her, and now Wiederstein will hit for Ball here in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Trojans scored their 2 runs in the bottom half of the 2nd. 2 runs on 3 hits. Ball with a single. Reese Ball with a single. McLaren and Satoff at RBI. The pitch to be Wiederstein. Low and in for Ball. The count is 1-0. Lila hitting .462 on the year. Nursing an injury, and so she's seeing limited action, but they get her to the plate. Here's the pitch on the way. There's a ground ball to second. Scooped up by Nelson. Fires to first for the out. 4-3. 1 down for Atlantic in the bottom half of the 4th.
Trojans, the senior number 1,
McKenna Sontag will step in. Sontag had that sac fly back in the 2nd inning. McKenna's had a good year, hitting .288. That average has just gradually come up for McKenna. Solid second base person, the only senior on the team. And the pitch on the way, swung on, hit deep to left. Here comes Wilmslow to make the play. I thought that ball might go a little bit further than it did.
Well, she's making contact.
It sounded good.
Out the bat for the Trojans, number 15, Peyton McLaren.
So Peyton McLaren will step in and singled and drove in a runner last time up in the 2nd. Atlantic with a 2-1 lead. Here in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Woods gone the distance. That pitch is swung on and fouled right side. 0-1 the count to Peyton McLaren. 2 down here in the bottom half of the 4th. Cardinals went up down in order at the top of the frame. Woods try to do the same here in the bottom half. Change up is high for a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike the count to Peyton McLaren. 1-1 McLaren with Satoff on deck. Here's the pitch on the way to Woods. Swung on a foul straight back. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The count to McLaren. Satoff ground out, but drove in a run back in that 2nd inning. 1-2 the count to McLaren. Woods in the circle for Clarinda. And here's the pitch on the way. Change is high. Now the count goes to 2-2. Satoff on deck. So Wiederstein grounds out. Sontag lifts one to left. Here's McLaren trying to get something going. Here's a 2-2. Swung on and popped foul.
Headache!
Headache. We're not sure what's going to come out of Bryce's mouth.
It's a talented PA man, Bryce.
Oh, he does a great job.
He does. He's on top of everything. So when the ball goes out in the stands, it's a headache.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, you got to pay attention.
Here's a 2-2. Swung on, popped up, shallow right, and it's caught by Maher. We had a collision maybe coming. Ellie Nelson was going out. Maher coming in.
We can't hear them. They should have been screaming. Let's put it that way.
They got it done. 3 up and 3 down for the Trojans. And we are through 4 innings of play. Atlantic leading by the score of a 2-1. We're back right after these.
Retreat that offers aesthetic dermatology services and professional.
At Outfitters Plus in Atlantic, you'll find all the latest in custom apparel and headwear. Head to Outfitters and work with the design pros to make your customized tees, team apparel, and personalized swag for your business a reality. Whether it's fan apparel for your high school or youth sports teams, your business, or you just want to make something your own, you'll have everyone saying, "Where'd you get that?" Don't forget, Outfitters will also add your group store online to make ordering a breeze. Get personalized at Outfitters Plus Outlet Store in Atlantic. Stop by today.
Looking for the ultimate place to host your party? It's time to roll into the Super Bowl on Highway 71 in Atlantic, the place to celebrate birthdays, family nights, or even date nights. Glow Bowling lights up your Friday and Saturday nights. We've got bumpers and ramps for the kiddos, and plenty of lanes for the grown-ups' bragging rights. Whether you're here to compete or just kick back and relax, the Super Bowl is where memories are made. Call Dan at 243-4656 to book your party today. The Super Bowl in Atlantic. Let the good times roll.
Will step to the plate. Peyton McLaren has gone the distance. Addison Woods has gone the whole way. And here we go. 2-1 Trojans with the lead. And McLaren brings the pitch. Half swing, ball outside. Mallory Woods at the plate for Clarinda here in the top of the 5th inning. Struck out her first time up. Maddie Cole and then Kaylee Smith, the 7, 8, and 9 to bat. 1-0. High and away, 2-0 the count. McLaren yet to walk a batter. She struck out 3. Cardinals 1 run on 3 hits, a single the first. Wilms scored on a throwing error. Nelson singled to back of the second, it was left. And Wilms singled again to back of the third, it was left. There's a strike. 2 balls and 1 strike to Mallory Woods, a DP. Batting for Addison Woods, the pitcher for the Cardinals. Mallory, a right-handed batter, hitting .220 on the year. Here's the 2-1. Swung on a hot shot in the hole, left field, base hit. So Mallory Woods gets one through in the 4th hit. Now for the Cardinals, a good leadoff base knock for Woods. And the Cardinals have 1 on and nobody down 2-1 in the top of the 5th inning. So Maddie Cole will step in. She ground out to second her last time up. Mallory Woods with that single is 1 for 2. She belted that into left field just out of the outstretched glove of Mallory Kirchhoff. Well, there's a Mallory Kirchhoff.
Yeah, there is.
Zoe
that's her
Kirchhoff.
niece. That's her aunt.
Aunt Mallory. Yeah, well, give Mallory a plug.
Yeah, bet.
Maddie Cole at the plate. Then Kaylee Smith here in the top of the 5th inning. 2 balls and 1 strike. Home plate umpire, I think, doing a fantastic job.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Man, he's consistent and calling the corners. Here's the pitch by Peyton McLaren. That one's inside for a ball. Maddie Cole, a left-handed hitter. Then Kaylee Smith. Maddie hitting .234. His 6 singles on the year. A couple of triples, a couple of doubles as well. 1-0 pitch, here it is. Swung on and belted high to center. Schrader high to the sky, and she's going to make the catch. 1 out to center field. Boy, again, that's the 4th fly ball to center.
Yeah. The catcher, number 12, Kaylee Smith.
Mallory Woods, the runner at first base. Kaylee Smith at the plate. She had to fly out to center as well. Lining up 2-1. We're at the top of the 5th inning. 1 on and 1 out for the Cardinals. In the circle is Peyton McLaren. Looks over to the first base dugout and gets a long look into Coach Molly O'Hara. Molly must have had to think about that for a moment. Here's the pitch. Fastball's a strike. Throw down to first base, not in time. They chase Woods back to the bag. Cardinals only
Good
run.
throw by Liv.
Yeah. Kudos got a good arm.
Yeah, she does. She does. She's gotten.
Wiederstein's D1
I made the comment to her several times that you got a lot better this year. You're doing a great job.
1-1 the count to Kaylee Smith. The pitch. Swung on, popped up. Schroeder at third, calling for it. She's going to make the grab in fair territory. So fly to center, a pop to third. And Woods standing at first base after a leadoff single. Here comes Maher, the leadoff batter. A 3rd appearance here tonight. Flew to center and popped up to third. Lining up 2-1. We're at the top of the 5th inning. Cardinals side, 4-0 Cardinals in the baseball game. 4 runs and 6 hits. Atlantic's got a hit in the contest. Trojans 1-2 in a row. The pitch. Fastball's a strike. Leadoff batter, Riley Maher with Wilms, hoping to get on and get a chance. She's 2 for 2. No balls and a strike. 2 down here at the top of the 5th inning. And the pitch by McLaren on the way. Low and away. The count is 1-1. Rural throw down to second base. A stolen bag for Woods. She got on her horse and gets a stolen base. That's a second stolen bag for the Cardinals tonight. So Mallory Woods at second on the stolen base. Maher, the batter. Left-handed hitter. Maher second in the conference with stolen bases. 1 on and 2 down. 2-1 Atlantic. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Swung on, hit deep to center field. That's back against the fence. That'll tie the game. Rounding third is Mallory Woods, and we're tied at 2 with an RBI double by Riley Maher. And the game is knotted up here as Woods, who's singled to lead off the inning, scores from second. It was. Sailed over Schrader's head out of center field.
Schrader had a beat on it, but I'll tell you what, it was taking it all the way to the fence.
Cardinals tied up at 2-2 on the top of the fifth. Stevie Wilms, the batter, 2 for 2. Singled and scored on an error back of the first. The pitch. Fastball is a strike, and the count is 0-1. So the Cardinals with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits here in the ball game, including a 2-bagger by Maher, driving home Mallory Woods. He led off the inning with a single. Hits to Wilms, swung on and flies it left side, and that's going to be out of play. 0-2, McLaren works ahead. Man, what a big 2-out double by Maher.
Yeah, absolutely.
And she stands at second base, the lead run here in the top of the fifth inning. For Maher, that was her third double of the season. She has a triple and 13 RBI with that run driven in. 0-2. High and away. The count is 1 ball and 2 strikes to Wilms.
Careful, Liv.
Runner at second base. Riley Maher. Mallory Woods singled to lead off the inning, stole a base. Cole flew out to center. Smith popped up. And then that big double by Maher. That pitch is high and away.
Good spot, though.
2 balls and
2
2 strikes. Excuse me, Roger. Yeah, it's right where you want it to be. We'll see if she comes back with a fastball at the knee. She likes that low pitch. And the 2-2 pitch comes in. Popped up. Playable by the shortstop Kirchhoff, and it makes the grab for Atlantic. Well, that'll be it for the Cardinals, but they make some hay. They scored 1 run on 2 hits, and they leave a runner. We're through 4.5. We're tied at 2-2 here in Atlantic. The Trojans coming to bat here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. We're back right after these.
Gas prices got you down? Need a ride to work or the grocery store? There's public transportation for everyone in Southwest Iowa. SWITA offers taxi service in Atlantic, Glenwood, Harlan, Missouri Valley, Red Oak, and Shenandoah. $2.50 each way or $2 for seniors 60 years and older. Just call 1-800-842-8065 or visit swita.com to schedule your ride.
Stein delivers more new genetics faster. Our focus on delivering higher yielding genetics faster than the competition is why we have released more new Enlist E3 lines in the past 5 years than any other seed company. For elite genetics paired with simple, flexible, and effective weed control, plant Stein Enlist E3 soybeans. Stein has yield. 45 years of yield. Learn more at steinseed.com.
To Atlantic, go the bottom half of the 5th. The Cardinals tied up at the top of this frame on 2 hits. An RBI double by Maher after Mallory Woods singled to lead off the inning. We go the bottom half. And for the Trojans, things are tied up at 2-2 as Addison Woods in the circle. Here's the pitch. Swung on and popped up. Third base person Woolsey makes the catch. And Satoff
next to bat for Atlantic.
Flies
number 19, Maddie McLaren.
Maddie McLaren will step in, so a pop up to third. Maddie ground out her first time up, her second look at Woods. Atlantic 3 up and 3 down in that 4th inning. 2-2 game. We're the bottom half of the 5th. Maddie, the 9th hitter of the Trojan lineup. Addison Woods looks in, gets the side of the pitch. High and away. Kaylee Smith, the catcher for the Cardinals. Addison Wagner at first, Ellie Nelson at second, Annika Price at short, Janessa Woolsey at third, Stevie Wilms in left, Maddie Cole in center, Maher and Ripe. A little chin music there, high and in.
Yep.
To Maddie McLaren.
A little close, but
close to the 8th grader. Boy, she's a young'un.
Just see the one where the guy got hit in the College World Series and they called him out?
Yes.
Because he leaned into the pitch?
Yep. 2-0 slice foul right side. Razorbacks had that no-hitter, right?
They did.
Third ever no-hitter in the College World Series.
Yep.
I think you go back 50 years.
In 1960.
Thank you. And fun to watch.
Oh, it's great baseball.
Elimination game. They won over Murray State in that one, high and in. LSU win today. I didn't catch those scores. We'll have to maybe grab those.
They were the second game, weren't they?
Yeah, they had a suspended game they had to play this morning.
Oh, that's right.
3-1 pitch, fouled straight back. The count goes full to Maddie McLaren, the 8th grader for the Trojans. Roger now busy on his computer to look up the score. We appreciate that. Get us caught up on that. CW West in Omaha. What a great place. Charles Schwab Field. That place is packed, too. I noticed on Sunday. Had a chance to watch a little bit of it. 3-2 pitch. Called strike 3. A beauty by Woods. And that's her first strikeout here in the ball game.
Batting for the Trojans.
Atlantic 2 up and 2 down.
McKenna Schrader.
And Woods has retired 7 straight Atlantic hitters. Trojans scored 2 runs in the second. Addison Woods has settled in and retired 7 straight. Here's Schrader. Line drive up the middle, base hit. Schrader, first pitch single. And Atlantic has a runner forward with 2 down.
Schrader gets first base, and it brings in number 4, Claire Schroeder.
LSU beat UCLA 9-5.
What's that again?
LSU beat UCLA 9-5. So UCLA plays Arkansas in an elimination game tomorrow.
Claire Schroeder will stand in. She walked her last time up and flew out in the first. 1 on and 2 down for Atlantic in the bottom half of the 5th. We're tied at 2-2. Woods throwing for the Cardinals. Here's the pitch. High outside for a ball. 1-0 the count. Trojans led 2-1. They trailed 1-0. And then took a 2-1 lead in the second.
If I read that right, UCLA had to turn around and play tonight.
Yes, they do. 1-0 pitch. Swung on and flies foul. The count goes to 1-1. For Atlantic, I believe that's Schrader at first with the single, and then Schroeder at the plate. Schroeder wears 4. Schrader, the runner at first. Wears number 7. Atlantic in their gold tops, black pants, pinstripe. Cardinals all black with red trim. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That's a strike outside corner. Count goes to 1-2. You're in the bottom half of the 5th inning. Zoe Kirchhoff on deck for Atlantic. Should Schroeder get something going here? Here's the 1-2 pitch with 2 down. Half swing. Did she go? There goes the runner. Schrader at second. Slides in safely. Pitch was high. Atlantic gets a stolen bag from Schrader.
Good slide.
Good slide. Kaylee Smith threw it down, and Schrader beat it back.
Now you got to put the bat on the ball. If you can find some green, you got to run.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Bottom of the 5th inning. 1 on and 2 down for Atlantic. We're tied at 2. Clarinda Atlantic. Bottom of the 5th. Schrader at second base. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss and a big strikeout for Woods. She had not struck out a batter, and she struck out 2 in the frame. No runs for Atlantic. They got a hit from Schrader. No errors. They left Schrader at second base. We're through 5. We're tied 2-2 here in Atlantic. We'll be back in a minute with more high school softball on 95.7 FM and our live video stream.
Get ready for a fresh start at Greg Young Atlantic. Our Greg Young Fresh Start program helps you hit the road with confidence, overcome credit challenges with personalized financing, and a wide selection of great vehicles. Visit us today to find your brand new Chevy, GMC, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, or Ram, or check out our huge pre-owned selection at GregYoungAtlantic.com and GregYoungCDJRAtlantic.com. And to apply. Don't miss out on this incredible offer. Here at Greg Young, we go the extra mile for you.
At Oak Point Wealth Management, we're embracing new changes to better serve you. As an independent wealth manager, I'm excited to partner with LPL Financial, bringing you comprehensive tools and resources backed by personalized service and dynamic technology. My focus remains on helping you achieve your financial goals with integrity and care. Visit oakpointwealth.com.
95 listing area, your tow is free. 2nd Street Auto in Atlanta, getting you back on the road and keeping you there.
KS 95.7 is KSWI Atlantic, a proud part of Meredith Communications. KS 95.7.
Welcome back. There's a hot shot to short, scoop by Kirchhoff, and Price is thrown out. Top of the 6th, 2-2 game with Clarinda and Atlantic. Cardinals at the plate, and Price at the one hopper, and Kirchhoff was there to gobble it up and gun to one for 6-3, one out.
Next up is going to be third baseman for the Cardinals, number 41, Janessa Woolsey.
Janessa Woolsey will step in, struck out of the first, flew out to Madison McLaren in the 4th inning. We're the top of the 6th here. The pitch, 5-ball right field. Dylan Ball is there, makes the catch.
Hot fly to the right side.
2 up and 2 down for the Cardinals. Here in the top of number 6, and Addison Wagner will stand in and try to
first baseman,
keep this thing alive
Addison Wagner.
and avoid a 3 up and 3 down inning. 2-2 game. Cardinals scored a run of the first, a run of the 5th, Atlantic 2 runs in the 2nd. And the pitch coming in to Addison Wagner, and she'll swing and miss. Struck out her last time up, otherwise lined out to right field. 0-1, nobody out and 2 down here at the top of the 6th inning. Baseball game, 4-0 Cardinals. They're in the 6th.
They're moving right along.
Yeah. 0-1. Here it is. Low for ball count, 1-1 to Addison Wagner, right-handed batter against the righty. Peyton McLaren, 288 hitter is Wagner coming in. 9 RBI, 1 home run. She's got some power. Here's the pitch, swung out and fouled back. And the count is 1-2 to Wagner. Slugging percentage of .346 with that home run. Otherwise, 14 singles. She's 14 of 52 coming in. She's 14 of 54 here in the year. Here's the pitch, high for a ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Wagner here in the top of the 6th inning. Nobody out and 2 down. 2-2 game. Wagner, a rod-headed hitter. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Ellie Nelson is on deck. The pitch. Swung on and fouled straight back. Count is 2-2. Nelson singled to the 2nd, was left. And then she flew to left field to the 4th. She's on deck for the Cardinals. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The pitch on the way. Swing and a miss and a big K for Peyton McLaren.
3 down.
So McLaren retires his side in 3. Price with a ground ball. Woolsey flies to right, and Wagner whiffs. And that'll be it for the Cardinals. Atlantic comes to bat in the bottom half of the 6th. And we are tied at 2-2 here in Atlantic. We're back right after these.
Your party? It's time to roll into the Super Bowl on Highway 71 in Atlantic, the place to celebrate birthdays, family nights, or even date nights. Glow Bowling lights up your Friday and Saturday nights. We've got bumpers and ramps for the kiddos, and plenty of lanes for the grown-ups' bragging rights. Whether you're here to compete or just kick back and relax, the Super Bowl is...
Atlantic Ag and Auto, your locally owned CarQuest Auto Parts store, is seeking help to fill a part-time or possibly full-time position. While experience in retail parts is preferred, it is not a deal breaker. The ideal candidate should have entry-level computer skills and be comfortable working with the public and having some fun while doing it. If you have excellent customer service skills, a valid driver's license, and a history of reliability, we would like to hear from you. Atlantic Ag and Auto is an equal opportunity employer located at 716 West 7th Street here in Atlantic.
We go to the bottom half of the 6th inning. We're tied at 2-2 with Clarinda and Atlantic here in Atlantic. And Zoe Kirchhoff, the third hitter of the Trojan lineup, will step in. Kirchhoff 0 for 2. Reached an error back of the first and popped up in the third. Here's the pitch. Kirchhoff looks at one in the dirt. The count is 1-0 to Zoe, the junior. Kirchhoff with quite a year at the plate. Second in Class 3A and RBI with 29.
Like to see one here.
Yeah, 33 hits. Ranks third in 3A, and she lifts that one sky high to center. Cole is there to make the catch. One out for the Trojans. You're in the bottom of the 6th inning. Dylan Ball will step in. She's 1 for 2. Single to back of the 2nd inning and reaching a fielder's choice in the 3rd. Ball, the right fielder for Atlantic. Takes a couple of hard swings, and she'll step in the right side of the batter's box against the righty, Addison Woods, who's thrown a nice game. Woods at one time had retired 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 straight. 6 straight, 7. And then Schrader ended that with a single. She went up, struck out Schroeder. Kirchhoff flies out to center. Dylan Ball at the plate. The count is 0-1. Here's the pitch. Swung on, and that's hitting the hole in right field. Base hit for Dylan Ball. Her second single of the game. Trojans have a runner on with one down here in the bottom half of the 6th inning.
Trojans, number 36, Lila Wiederstein.
So Lila Wiederstein will step to the plate. Wiederstein ground out to second, her last time up, her first time up. And Dylan Ball at first for Atlantic. We're tied at 2. We're in the bottom half of the 6th inning. The Ball will be at first. Coach Hinsman coming to talk the home plate umpire. Dylan Ball, the runner.
He's going to pinch run for Dylan, I believe.
Yeah, I believe so. And that is going to be
Running in for Dylan Ball is going to be
Abby
number 12 for
Anderson.
Atlantic. That's Abby Anderson.
Abby Anderson will run for Dylan Ball at first. Cardinals took a 1-0 lead at the top of the first inning. Atlantic took the lead in the bottom half of the second with 2 runs and 3 hits. Cardinals tied it up in the 5th inning on a single by Woods, a stolen base, and an RBI double by Maher. We're tied at 2. Here's Wiederstein. Anderson, the runner at first. The pitch, high and away. Count 1-0 to Wiederstein, her second plate appearance. Reese Ball hit first in that DH spot with a single and scored. Wiederstein then ground out, and now the batter here. The pitch. Swung on a tapper to third. Snagged by Woolsey. Throws to second for 1. Back over to first, and it's way over the head. Wiederstein will head for second. They're going to throw the ball to second. The tag not in time. Nice slide by Wiederstein. She hesitated. I'm not sure.
Anderson's thrown out.
She's
Wiederstein
nursing
makes
that
second
leg
base.
injury. So she ends up at second on the throwing error. And Ball's runner Anderson is forced out at second base. 2 down for the Trojans. Bottom of the 6th inning, we're tied at 2. Now Wiederstein's going to be run for at second. McKenna Sontag, the senior, will step in. She had a sacrifice in the second inning. Flew out to left in the 4th. And she'll step in with the runner at second.
Senior McKenna Sontag.
So Reese Ball, the runner at second base, the lead run for the Trojans. Here in the bottom half of the 6th inning, Roger Warren.
Well, find some green.
Sontag hitting .288 of the year. 4 RBI, 1 home run, 6 doubles, 8 singles, 15 hits. She's 15 of 52 coming in, 15 of 53 with that sacrifice in the second. As we wait for something.
Oh, it's hard telling.
Maybe they're trying to fetch a softball to get in. That might be the case.
Somebody down there in the bullpen.
Okay, there we go. Cardinals and the Trojans tied at 2. We're in the bottom half of the 6th. McKenna Sontag at the plate. Reese Ball, the runner at second base for Atlantic. 1 on and 2 down, 2-2 game. We'll wait for Sontag, waiting for the base umpires. He looks Over to his left. Now we're going to get going. Sontag will stand in. Here's the pitch. High and away. Ball one. Woods has walked only one hitter. She struck out a pair. And that came back in the fifth. She had 2 strikeouts, one looking and one swinging. 1-0 is the count. Here's the pitch to Sontag. Outside, ball 2. Sontag, the 6th hitter in the Atlantic lineup with Peyton McLaren on deck. She had a single and drove in a run back in the second. That 2-run second for Atlantic. The only 2 runs the Trojans have. Tied at 2. Bottom of the 6th inning. 2-0 pitch to Sontag. Swung on and fouled straight back.
Cut.
Watch your noggin!
Count is 2-1. From a headache to a noggin.
Absolutely.
I wonder where noggin came from. We know where English came from.
Yeah, the noggin.
The game snooker.
I've
with a
known
spin
that
on
one
the
for a
ball.
long time.
Here's 2-1 pitch. Chapper to second base, gets through. That's going to score the lead run. Here
Stay
comes
right.
ball from third. Atlantic up 3-2, and Sontag with a hard hit to second base. Drives home a run. Atlantic up 3-2 here in
Nice
the bottom of the
job.
6th inning.
Number 15, Peyton McLaren.
Kudos to McKenna.
Oh, an RBI single for McKenna Sontag. Nelson made a good try at it, snagged it. It was a sharp hit. And Sontag with an RBI single drives home. Reese Ball running at second base. Atlantic up 3-2 here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Peyton McLaren at the plate, 1 for 2. She'll slice one foul right side. So McLaren
that one
single.
made it all the way over the baseball field.
McLaren an RBI single to the back of the second. Ground out of the 4th. Batting here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Atlantic with a 3-2 lead. A clutch hit by McKenna Sontag. 0-1 pitch. Line.
There's a gapper. There's a gapper.
Right center.
Get on your horse, McKenna.
Sontag
Get
will
on your
run to
horse.
third. She's going to swing and come for home. Here's the throw to second. McKenna Sontag scores from first base. And McLaren with her second RBI. This one a double in center field. And Atlantic adds an insurance run with the McKenna Sontag scoring from first base. How about that? McLaren goes to second. And now Atlantic up 4-2.
They must be playing some music down in the dugout. And Gary Wax is the base umpire.
Yeah.
Says that's a no-no.
No music.
Yeah.
And no animal calls either. We had that called. I was working a game at Glenwood here early this season, boys game on May 29th. Evidently, from one of the dugouts, there were some animal calls.
Some duck calls or something like that?
Something like that. And the home plate umpire, he said, no animal calls, so I learned that one.
Yep.
And Jillian Satoff, the batter with 1 on and
hey, we got another runner out there.
And 2 in. Atlantic leading 4-2. Here's Satoff, 0 for 2, ground out and popped up. Looks at one low on him. The count is 1-0 to Jillian, the 8th hitter in the Trojan lineup. For the Trojans, 2 runs in the frame here, the bottom of 6th inning. Went Sontag with that RBI. That was a big RBI, and then McLaren drives her home on that double.
Yeah.
1-0 the count to Satoff. Here's the pitch. Half swing. That's a strike right there on the inside edge. Count 1-1. Jillian wasn't sure about that one anyway. Sophomore will step back in with a runner at second. Got a new runner there at second as well. We'll pick that up. Here's the 1-1 pitch to Satoff. On the way, swung on and hit to short. Gobbled up by Price. Nice gun to 1. Gets the out. 6-3. But how about the Trojans? They scored 2 on 3 hits. A double, an RBI by McLaren, a single RBI by Sontag, and Dylan Ball also with a single for Atlantic. They scored 2 runs on 3 hits. No errors, and they left 1. Trojans 3 outs away from a victory here against the Cardinals from Clarinda. We'll have something to say about that when they come to the plate here at the top of the 7th inning. 4-2 Atlantic. We're back right after.
Hey there, this is Tanner from your Atlantic Hy-Vee, and I've got some exciting news to share. Thanks to your feedback, we're currently rated the friendliest Hy-Vee in the entire company. That's a huge honor, and on behalf of the whole team, thank you to everyone who's taken time to share their thoughts. Did you know you can leave feedback too? Just check the link on the bottom of your Hy-Vee receipt or in your email after a purchase. Whether it's a compliment or constructive criticism, I love reading our surveys and making sure we're always improving. And as always, thank you for shopping your Atlantic Hy-Vee.
When you're on the go, it's all about convenience. Add fantastic food, beverages, plus BP superior fuels, and you have Olson's BP in Atlantic. From sunup to sundown, we're the keep you going store. From our loaded breakfast burritos and Bunker Dunker donuts to our delicious Champs chicken and pizza to go, we have the food you crave. Don't forget the cold beer in the beer cave. Stop in and fill her up. There's always something you need at Olson's BP, the keep you going store, 2nd and Locust in Atlantic.
To Atlantic. We go to the top of the 7th inning, and the Trojans with a 4-2 lead. 2 big runs in the bottom half of number 6 for Atlantic. So the Cardinals looking to make some noise. The Trojans 3 outs away here in this early start here tonight, trying to beat the rain. Looks like that's going to happen, Roger Warren.
I'll tell you what, exactly. It's really kind of a nice night to sit out and watch softball.
Oh, no doubt. Ellie Nelson will be at the plate, the 6th hitter in the Cardinal lineup. She's 1 for 2. Had a single to back of the 2nd and was left. Mallory Woods and then Maddie Cole. We're at the top of the 7th Atlantic with a 4-2 lead. McLaren has pitched the whole way. She'll bring it. That pitch is low for ball. The count is 1-0 to Nelson. Cardinals scored 1 in the 1st, 1 in the 5th. Atlantic 2 in the 2nd, 2 in the 6th. Nelson, a right-handed hitter against the righty, Peyton McLaren. The sign, here's the 1-0. Swung on a hot shot in the hole to left field, and it's a base hit. Kirchhoff slowed it down, but a good way for the Cardinals to start is Nelson. Singles to left. She's at first with nobody down here at the top of the 7th. Atlantic up 4-2, and Mallory Woods is scheduled to hit. There's going to be a runner at first. It's going to be Hadley Miller. The sophomore will run for the Cardinals.
16, sophomore Hadley Miller.
And then Maddie Cole will be on deck. So 1 on and nobody down, top of the 7th. Atlantic up 4-2. Cardinals tying run at the plate is Mallory Woods. Hadley Miller, the runner, the sophomore at first base for the Cardinals. Here at the top of the 7th. Baseball game, it's 8-0 Cardinals. They're in the 6th. As a pitch outside for a ball. 1-0 the count to Mallory Woods. She struck out of the 2nd, and she singled back in the 5th inning. Miller, the runner at first base. Here's the pitch. Change up. It's a strike outside corner. Now the count is 1-1. To Mallory Woods, the 7th hitter in the Cardinal lineup. Singled and scored back in the 5th inning. She's 1 for 2. Nelson, the runner at first base. 1 ball and a strike. 1 on and nobody down. Atlantic with a 4-2 lead. Here's the pitch. Swung on and fouled back. McLaren took some off that one.
Yep.
And she works ahead 1-2.
Now she's got to settle in and get a good. This is one where you don't want to give to her.
McLaren with 4 strikeouts. She's not walked a batter here in the ball game. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Ellie Nelson, the runner at first for the Cardinals. Here's the pitch. There's a called strike 3. Throw it out of first, not in time. Big strikeout. Now the Trojans are 2 away. 5th strikeout for Peyton McLaren.
Center fielder, number 10,
Maddie Cole will step in. She ground out and flew out to center. 1 on and 1 out. And Coach Hensman comes out to talk to his infield. And Peyton McLaren, Ellie Nelson led off with a single here at the top of the 7th. And Mallory Woods looks at 1 for strike 3. And Coach Hensman visiting with his team. Atlantic up 4-2.
Second call for all
what a big 6th inning
players. Please
for Atlantic.
Proceed to the outside of the fence next to the scoreboard.
6 hitters appeared in that frame. Kirchhoff flew to center. Dylan Ball with a single, but she was forced out. And then Wiederstein reached an error, went to second. McKenna Sontag that had the RBI single, and McLaren had the RBI double that drove McKenna Sontag home to give Atlantic a 4-2 lead. There's 1 on and 2 down, 1 out for the Cardinals here at the top of the 7th. Here's Cole. Here's the pitch. Strike.
Oh,
check that.
No.
Went outside. 1-0 the count.
That was just up.
Close
higher
by
than
McLaren, yeah.
Yep.
Miller, the runner, first base for the Cardinals. The count is 1-0 to Maddie Cole. 0 for 2 with a ground out and a fly ball to center. Here's the 1-0 pitch. There's a line drive to short. Caught by Kirchhoff. Fires to first for the force, not in time. Now the Trojans 1 out away.
Just make the plays.
Kirchhoff makes the catch.
12, Kaylee Smith.
So Kaylee Smith will step in. These two teams meet again a week from tonight at
today,
Clarinda.
Yep.
Roger and I will be there for that broadcast as well. In our live video stream, we'll have baseball on Thursday. Shenandoah coming to town. We'll have high school baseball, 7:15 pregame. Here's Smith. Pitch coming. Line drive, deep right. Back, caught! By Gillenball in right field, and Atlantic wins. Ball had to go back and make the catch with her back to home plate. And the Trojans secure the victory over the Cardinals, 4-2. Well, it's Little League Recognition Night, and we're going to keep it right here for that. We'll have a wrap-up coming up in a moment, and we'll take a 2-minute timeout. We're back right after these on 95.7 FM on our live video stream, westerniowatoday.com.
Focus.
At Seed Pros, our mission is to be your business partner every day of every season.
Pioneer Hybrid International was founded in Iowa back in 1926 and is still American today. Not many other seed providers can make that claim.
We partner with you to continually push the limits by combining elite seed genetics, local infield knowledge, along with customer service second to none.
We are with you from the word go. Contact Mark Van Tiger, Gary Dinkla, Nick Knutson, or John Becker to partner with a team that puts your business needs first.
At Rolling Hills Bank and Trust, we're not just a bank. We're your neighbors. We've been dedicated to our communities for over 35 years. From real estate and ag loans to personal and commercial banking, we offer a full range of financial services tailored to meet your needs. We believe in giving back and being involved in the communities we serve. Stop into one of our 12 convenient locations or visit us at rollinghillsbank.com.
Olson's Outdoor Power is your one-stop service and equipment shop for all things outdoor. We sell the best power sports products in the business, from Polaris, Can-Am, Sea-Doo, and Ski-Doo, trailers to tackle any job from H&H, Triton, and Wilson, and we continue to lead the way in lawn and garden equipment with great products from Exmark, Dixie Chopper, Husqvarna, Cub Cadet, Steel, and Echo. Add factory-trained technicians in 2 locations, and it's easy to see why Olson's Outdoor Power is the leader in all things outdoor. Olson's Outdoor Power, your one-stop service and equipment shop with locations in Atlantic and Carroll.
First Winnie Bank is the longest standing locally owned bank in Atlantic, and as such, we take pride in how we serve our community. For generations, we have been involved with our customers and their families by getting involved in community events and by supporting technology and teaching financial literacy in our schools. You'll also see our support of athletics on the scoreboards at home events. It's this involvement that allows us to know our customers and their families for generations. First Winnie Bank, the only bank you'll ever need. Member FDIC.
Tonight is our Little League Recognition Night as well, as we look at here, ladies and Coach Hinsman is with us as well. So we'll talk to Coach here in just a little bit as we wait till we get the recognition done here. Kindergarten first grade team is coached by Jeff and Tiffany Goody, Melissa Mulder, John Hart, and Jason McCormick. Second and third grade teams coached by Ashley Mosier, Kendra Henningston, and Tad Wonio. And finally, the fourth and fifth grade teams coached by Neely Webster, Brian Esbeck, Laura Hickman, Pat Hoffman, Andrea Ruderstein, Gary Van Ert, and Logan Wyrick. And a huge thank you from Coach Hinsman and the gang to all the players, coaches, and board members at Atlantic Little League. Here is the recognize the board of directors and volunteers and coaches who make up this Atlantic Little League softball program, the Atlantic Youth Softball Organization. 80 kindergarten through fifth grade players and their sport of softball here this season. The board of directors include Lucas Mosier, Lindsey Benning, Stacy Johnson, Don Walton, Paul Kai, Jeff Goody, Adam Sontag, Mackenzie Bando, and Tony Pross. Coach Hinsman, the gang, also huge thanks goes out to the many people behind the scenes who volunteered their time and talents to make the Atlantic Little League so successful and a great experience for so many girls. We'll wait till we're done with the introduction here by P announcer Bryce Smith. We're going to take a timeout. We're back right after these.
A huge thank you goes out.
Elegant retreat that offers aesthetic dermatology.
Have you ever heard the saying, people spend their life building wealth and neglecting their health, only to wish they could trade their wealth for better health at the end? This is Dr. Fritz Beyer, and it has now been over 30 years since my first chiropractic adjustment. I still get asked, do you get adjusted? Absolutely. I try to get adjusted at least once a month. I'm 47 now and still try to stay as active as ever. While I do get a few more aches and pains than when I was younger, it feels great to be able to step on the mat and help kids learning to wrestle. Chiropractic has helped me feel young enough to do it. If staying active is part of your future plans, call 254-BODY to get your body back to the basics.
Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA, SIPC. Investment advice offered through Great Valley Advisor Group, a registered investment advisor. Great Valley Advisor Group and Oakland Wealth Management are separate entities from LPL Financial.
Welcome back to the post-game show here on 95.7 of Flam Atlantic. With a 4-2 win over the Clarinda Cardinals. And we are joined by Atlantic head coach Terry Hensman. Led down 1-0, took a 2-1 lead in the second, come back with two big runs to the sixth coach, and a good victory over a good team. What can you say about the team?
Yeah, absolutely. Ranked in the top 10, and we knew coming in that they were going to be a battle for us, and they do all aspects of the game pretty well. They obviously, you can see that they fielded the ball well. They do get the bat on the ball, and they play solid defense. So to Peyton to be able to shut them down and keep them down to just the 2 runs. In fact, one is an unearned run, that one that they got in the first. So she did an excellent job in the circle. And then our bats came alive at the time that we really needed them. That was one of the things that when we were doing our conversations early in the season was other teams were getting runners on base and getting a hit when they really needed it. We were getting runners on base, but we were failing to receive that hit. So, McKenna did a good job here at the end. That's the one that's going to stand out. But we had a couple of other situations where we moved runners around a bit with a little bit of added pressure of having runners in scoring position with 2 outs.
Coach, talk about Peyton McLaren's effort in the circle.
She's been really working hard on that drop ball. So she's been, I think that probably the ground outs, the drop and the rise, which kind of go together with each other. I didn't call the pitches, so I'm not sure what was actually being thrown, but my assumption is that the fly balls were the rise ball that was breaking up, and the ground balls were the drop ball.
What else kind of sticks out to you here in the game for the keys to success here?
Well, I think one of the things is when they came back and tied the ball game up, as young as we are in many of the positions that we were at, I thought that, at one point in time during this season, we would have just said, okay, here the wheels are going to start falling off again. We did not do that. We stuck with the game plan. Even up to the very last out that Dylan caught out here was over her right shoulder in right field, and she went back on. Had a heck of a read on it, got a good drop step, got back on it, and back maybe 2 weeks ago, I'm holding my breath and everything else, and I was already jumping up and down in the dugout when before she even caught the ball, because I knew she was going to come through for us. So, it's that kind of thing that you just have to have confidence throughout the course of the season. You have to believe. We talk about drive through it with the model that we've used for the year, like race car drivers do. You just got to sometimes just push the gas and go, and that's kind of what we've been doing here these last few games.
Kind of a roll here, Coach. You beat a really good Bondurant team on Saturday. You win 2 Saturday at the Stevens tournament in Creston. 13-2 win over Kemper last night. You beat a solid Cardinal team here tonight. Talk about the streak going on now.
Well, let's not shortchange us. It was 18-2.
Oh, 18, excuse me. 18-2. Oh, I'm glad you corrected that.
I think we can go back to maybe the Winterset game that we played. We didn't play very well. We didn't play with much emotion. We didn't. It just something was just we just weren't invested in it. It didn't seem like. And the post-game meeting was basically very simple. You know, I've been coaching for a whole long time, and this is your team. So how you want to handle this?
Yes.
We can let the season be like this and have no fun when we come out to the ballpark and play games, or we can turn this around, and we're looking for some leaders to be able to do that, because we can do a lot of instruction and those kinds of things as coaches, but we can't jump in their heads and make them really enjoy it. And then we come back. We say that we might have won that Ankeny game. We got really bad call by an umpire at the end, and I know that sounds like sour grapes, Tom. It's not. The umpire even admitted that she blew the call, and I don't know. We had to score a few more runs, but we played really well against a tough Ankeny team, and then come back and beat Bondurant and finish up business in short order against Lennox. I think did a lot for our confidence, and I think one of the things that the girls decided is, hey, if we're going to come to the ballpark, let's come and have fun. And you know what? Winning is just sort of kind of fun.
Coach, thanks a bunch for stopping by. Best of luck tomorrow night off, I believe.
We might be going up to finish up that Kemper. We are ahead in the first inning, 1-0, with one out and Zoe Kirchhoff on first. So we'll see how that plays out. All kind of up to the athletic directors, and I think it basically boils down to finding umpires, to be honest with you. And then we'll see how things go. We got Shenandoah here, and then we go up to Fort Dodge. We have a little bit of fun, but we also have to play some tough competition up there, which is North Polk to begin with. I think they're ranked 3 in 3A, and then the winner or loser, depending upon how that works, with Fort Dodge, who is Fort Dodge, by the way, and Clarksville, which I think just jumped up to number 1, if I remember, if I read that right. So it's that was. I talked to your partner on the Saturday show. I missed you there. He talked a long time. My hamburger got cold because I was sitting in a restaurant down in Creston. But, we talked about that as well, that's kind of the thing that we've been, the system that we wanted to do was to go play good teams.
Yeah.
I think that we did not do that last year. Last year we had too much time off. We played Red Oak a couple of times. I don't think we saw that good of pitching. And the bottom line was we just didn't play well. And the girls recognized it immediately, and in the postseason meeting said, hey, you got to do something. So we added some tough competition down the road at the end of the season, just to see those pitchers win, lose, so be it. The big thing is you got to go 6-0 at the end of the season once the tournament starts. So that's what we're shooting for.
Very good. Coach, thanks a bunch for stopping by. We'll talk to a couple of players here in a moment. Best of luck here the rest of the week.
Thanks, Tom.
You bet. Coach Terry Hinsman joining us here on the post-game show. 4-2, the final here tonight. We'll talk to our senior, McKenna Sontag, the lone senior on this Trojan softball team. Key hit in the bottom half of the 6th inning. McKenna, talk about that. What did you see? And talk about that hit. Of course, you eventually scored as well. Take us through that at bat and your base running.
Right. Getting up to bat with 2 outs, I knew I needed to come in with a crucial hit. Hinson was just trying to talk me through it down at third base, letting me know all I needed was a base hit. They definitely did some good scouting. They were throwing me outside all night, and I usually struggle with that pretty much. But I just sat back and took an oppo and just had a base hit up between the 4-hole and got on, and then had a big hit to get me home to get us lead by 2.
Talk about your average has just been creeping up as the season's gone along. McKenna, talk about that a little bit. What's been going right for you there?
We just been working on pitch selection for the most part for me. Seeing a lot down at the cage with some spin has been really helping. Getting into these big, tough tournaments in Creston, facing people like Ankeny and Winterset, really helping us see some spin. So when we come back home, have some tough Hawkeye 10 matchups that we're pretty used to, seeing that kind of good pitching.
So the pitching, and then Coach Hansman talked about that. You remember a year ago, the comp compared to this season. How much do you agree with Coach about playing that tough competition then?
Yeah, I mean, it's really good for us. We go down to Creston to play those big, tough teams. Last year, at the end of the year, we started to see some bottom of the conference teams, and we saw that hurt us in postseason, so we've been trying to see tough teams all the way through the season. I think competition's only getting better. As the year goes on, as the season progresses, we only see tougher competition, and that's really helping us out.
McKenna is a lone senior. Obviously, leadership responsibilities for you. What impresses you about this young squad this year?
Oh, it's amazing. Our outfield especially, they're pretty young out there. I mean, McKenna is a junior, but she does a great job leading the outfield. Dylan Ball and Maddie both never started for the varsity team, and they've done an incredible job stepping up. As well with Peyton McLaren, she's only a sophomore in the circle, and she does a great job And with Lila's injury, Olivia's done fabulous behind the plate. She does a really good job keeping Peyton calm, keeping the entire field under control, and she does a fabulous job in the dugout as well.
McKenna, congrats on the win. Congrats on a clutch hit in the bottom of the 6th inning to bring home that lead run. And then you added some insurance there on that RBI double. McKenna Sontag, best of luck the rest of the way.
Thank you, Tom.
You bet. We'll talk to Dylan Ball, the right fielder, had a big catch there at the end of the game. A big thanks to Coach Hensman and McKenna Sontag. And, well, Dylan will go to the 7th inning, the top of the 7th. It's 4-2.
Yes.
Right? And 2 down. The ball goes off the bat to talk about the catch in right field.
Well, I saw it right off the bat, had a drop step, keep my eye on the ball, and make sure it went in my glove.
You had a good night hitting the ball as well. Talking about some of the pitches you were getting and the keys to success there for you.
Yeah, she mainly threw like right down the middle, so it was like hit that sweet spot and it's going.
So talk about the season for you and how much fun are you having here?
I'm having so much fun being with all these girls because everybody's hyping each other up during the games.
You played a little bit last year as an 8th grader, and now as a freshman, you got a long ways to go, right?
Yes,
as far as years to come. But what is the difference? And you had some success last year. What's the big difference between this year and last year as a freshman compared to being an 8th grader on that squad?
I've just been keeping growing and getting better with my hits and fielding and working hard.
What is one thing maybe you picked up here over the last year that's really helped you, whether it be defensively or offensively?
Coach Hensman has helped me learn to be in the outfield because I haven't been there much, but now I'm very comfortable with it, so it's good.
Where did you play before that? Were you mainly an infielder? Or?
Yes, I did play a bunch of infield before, yes.
What's the biggest adjustment you've had to make in the outfield then?
Throwing, gotta get that arm long and strong. So,
and the ball using the air compared to ground ball in the infield. Dylan, great job tonight. Best of luck the rest of the way.
Thank you, Tom.
You betcha. Post-game show wrapping up. Big thanks to Dylan Ball, a freshman. She had a good night for the Trojans as we'll wrap things up here with Roger Warren, Atlantic. Here in the ball game had 7 hits. He scored 4 runs on 7 hits here in the contest. Atlantic scored a pair in the 2nd. They scored a pair in the 6th inning to win this thing. Dylan Ball went 2 for 3 at the plate with a couple of singles and scored a run back in the 2nd. Also, Peyton McLaren went 2 for 3, and McKenna Schrader 1 for 3. She had a single and stole a base in the 5th inning. The big hits, though, came in the 2nd to back-to-back hits by Dylan Ball and Reese Ball, sisters there. And then Peyton McLaren had an RBI single, and Jillian Satoff an RBI ground ball. That made it a 2-1 game. Atlantic with the lead. The Cardinals were able to tie this thing up in the 5th inning as Mallory Woods singled to lead off the frame, and she scored on Riley Maher's RBI double. And it was a 2-2 game, but Atlantic, as I mentioned, came back big. In the bottom of the 6th inning, it was McKenna Sontag with an RBI single driving home Reese Ball, who had reached on an error. And then Peyton McLaren had an RBI double to drive home Sontag. McLaren, by the way, went 2 for 3 with a single, an RBI, and a double, and an RBI. Final thoughts to Roger Warren. His team is kind of on a roll right now.
Well, I'll tell you what, they played very well tonight. I mean, Clarinda's been a solid ball club. I know, both teams were probably hampered a little bit with their, one of their better players being either injured or out. And but the Trojans came through and hit the ball well. Like you said, Peyton did a great job in the circle. The one thing you kept mentioning, she never put anybody on the bag.
Yep.
No free passes, and I tell you what, in the long run, that is huge. So they come back and got Shenandoah on Thursday. Shenandoah was a good ball club down there. They did win, but see if we can get another Hawkeye 10 victory on Thursday, and then head to Fort Dodge for what I'm looking at is going to be a hot one. I don't know if the old man can handle that.
Take your straw hat.
Yeah, I'm going to take my straw hat and
air condition the RV.
Well, yeah, air condition the RV, and hell, I might have to even get the fan and a mister out and stuff like that. The old pig misters like we had.
Roger, thank you very much. Roger and I will be in Clarinda a week from tonight for the Atlantic at Clarinda game on our live video stream and on the radio at 95.7 FM. Coming up on Thursday, it'll be Jack McKee will join me for the broadcast. Atlantic hosting Shenandoah High School baseball. We'll have that game for you. Pregame at 7:15, first pitch at 7:30. Thank you for joining us once again. The final, Atlantic 4, Clarinda 2. Thanks for joining us and good night from Atlantic.
MedSpa is a private, elegant retreat that offers aesthetic dermatology services and professional-grade skincare products. Our team provides appointments for Botox, dermal fillers, and resurfacing treatments. And we recently added esthetician services including Diamond Glow dermabrasion, facials, waxing, brow tinting, eyelash tints and lifts, and exfoliating treatments. Now open Tuesday through Thursday, the Cass Health MedSpa team is ready to help you look and feel your best. Learn more and schedule your appointments online at casshealth.org/medspa.
At Oak Point Wealth Management,